Hey everybody, Texas Stroker here, Alliance's Performance Shop, StahlWille.com. As you can possibly see down in the lower right-hand corner, it is just past midnight, and yes, once again, this truly is when I do this stuff. I actually work, and if you're curious what my plans for the weekend are, well, I'll be going to work. So, yeah, I'm going to try to crank this out. I suck at being succinct. We'll give it a go. I kind of also hate having stuff like this on a Saturday. I always try to have like a cool video for Saturday. Obviously, I've been uploading videos for 14 years. I have no idea what I'm doing. But we're going to jump right into this with what dropped this morning. I tried to teach you, I've tried to train you to get the best deal, and I do this as a guy. Everything you see here, you could buy it all, and it benefits me nothing. My joy comes from knowing that I've helped you get stuff that you will hopefully like, that you will hopefully be happy with the deal you got. There's no affiliations. I see no kickback. I don't get hats, shirts, socks, nothing. I literally am just doing this to try and help you. So, if you paid attention, Dark Gray Friday. It's not Black Friday, it's Dark Gray Friday. Pay attention to that word. You might notice a little thing right to the upper right hand side of that. And yeah, we'll see if anyone knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, the 4 Fridays leading up to Black Friday, meaning this is number 3, and we have the next one, you will have an opportunity to land some great deals on 5 select German tools. Covered the first week. I didn't have a chance to cover 2. We will cover 3. So, right here, some of you are excited and some of you are disappointed right off the bat. Why? Look at item number 1. You probably didn't expect to see this. Actually, a lot of you probably didn't know KC Tool carried Brockhaus Heuer, right? Those are the Vises that you would see, like you'd hear old dudes talk about and, come up in discussions on Garage Journal or something. Do I have one? No. Would I like one? Yes. Did I get one of these? Maybe. We'll have to find out. But let's take a look at it right here. $289.99. Now, hopefully, if you were on board on this, you noticed, number 1, I personally love the oven-baked finish, especially in that color. Vises have some of the coolest aesthetics ever. I can't think of the brand off the top of my head, but there's like this British racing green that's just super cool. What am I rocking? Old Americana at work, and I've got a blue, I don't even know the brand, from Harbor Freight. And the beautiful oven-baked finish, of course, is pretty much gone off of 80% of the Vise. It is what it is. But there were, when I got on, which luckily I had, well, I shouldn't say luckily, I was in the shop and had to come to the front. And I was there and I was like, you know what, screw this. It's break for everyone else. I'm going to take 5 seconds and get on KC Tool. There were 9 of these. That was 10 to 10:30. This went live at 10, so there were 9. I don't know what they had to begin with. But they're gone now, so that deal is gone. However, if you're interested, take this as an opportunity. Just simply click, the item and go back to Brockhaus Heuer, and you can see everything they've got to, offer. Maybe put something on a wish list for Black Friday. Maybe monitor for other sales. But very, very cool and unexpected to see that here. So it's kind of one of those brands you don't usually see. Wera, Knipex, you'll see massive discounts on stuff occasionally. That, Stabila, there's a couple of brands you just don't really see discounts on, so kind of neat to see it there. This next one, kind of interesting. Look at this, 44% off. That's Tool of the Day Plus territory, right? This is funny because I'd actually thought of bringing these in. I was placing an order some night this week, and I always try to think of things, like, oh, what would benefit me? What can I compare? And granted, you wouldn't see it for months because we have a stack of videos, but this is actually, of course, aside from the textile pouch, these, you've got a Wera, traditional Zyklop ratchet. You've got some extensions. You've got the spin collar sleeve, it looks like, on the long one. It's the sockets that are special. And you're like, yeah, they've got the Take It Easy tool finder. Who cares? Let me actually just, hopefully that tab comes up here. I want to show you this. Again, I apologize. I have amazing internet. You know, they passed legislation so people in rural areas like myself would have great internet. And I think that was like 8 years ago. So, you know what? Screw it. It's holding function, okay? If you could see this pixelated potato image, there we go. There's a black band here. That is not part of the Take It Easy tool finder, all right? That is by design. Yes, it's great for the size markings and everything, but that actually is a collar that is going to hold. You know, I don't know if there's a good picture of it, and it'll take forever to get. Can't see it. Trust me, if you want to research this, they're holding function sockets, and they've got little ball detents. I think it's a stack of 2. It's been on my short list of things to check out. Do with that information what you will, all right? So, again, I'm trying to go fast here. Up next, this is a killer deal. This is Hazet's 762.26. That is 260 millimeter, just past 10 inches. Think of this as Hazet's 10-inch pliers wrench. We introduced these right when they came out. I was giddy as a little schoolgirl. I think that was my exact line from that video. In part because of their unique mechanism that I had experience with on their universal pliers. The knock with Hazet is always, it's too expensive. You know, I'm just going to get the Knipex. I get it. I totally understand. In fact, I had a tab somewhere. I'm not sure it's still there. We'll figure it out. Maybe the Wera just moved it. But this is 53% off. It's $64.99. $64.99 for a 10-inch pliers wrench. Made in Germany. Super nice. I've had it for quite some time. I could go on and on. We will eventually about pliers wrenches because we got them from all the brands, not just Knipex. And by all the brands, I mean like good brands, not just like imported knockoffs. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna have faith in myself. Wonderful. This kind of gets you up to speed on Knipex. Sadly, I didn't filter by size, and I dare not do that now because you've seen my internet try to operate. 6233. This is the standard rubber textured grip, right? If we come in and we find a 10-inch here, and what some people prefer, I hate that grip. I cannot stand it. It is $66.88. You're actually saving money here. Granted, this is chrome. This is sort of, like the matte finish. Do with it what you will. Follow your own preferences. If we technically wanted to compare apples to apples, the Hazet is more of a chrome finish. So 66 for their base grip. If we come in, I was trying to find a textured iteration of that. Again, I'm trying not to, I have to sit and edit this, and get it uploaded, which that's the real challenge, if you haven't figured it out, is the upload speeds. This would kind of be the equivalent minus the tether, dadgum. Again, I so wish I would have sorted by tens. Right here, it is not the chrome plating. $79.41 right here, the chrome plating. Again, I can never make sense of some of the things Knipex price-wise is. I assume it's like production or something, or just people tend to option them this way. Because in theory, you would think this would cost more, but it's actually $6 less. Again, do with it what you will. But the bottom line, this is as close as we can get in Knipex terms to the Hazet that is on Dark Gray Friday 3. You're going to pay $73.90 right now, all right? You're getting their 2-component. I don't know that they've introduced the extend handles yet. So you're also going to get slapped in the face with that if it matters to you. These are still great handles. You're just not going to have the update with the extend, which again, I'm not sure they are available yet on said pliers wrench. But $73, you will actually, my friend, save money this time. Almost $10 getting the Hazet. Do you want to be different? Do you want to try them out? Again, a lot of times it's like for science. This is basically my whole channel. I can watch other people's videos, but man, I just need to find out for myself sometimes. And if you are in that same mindset, you're like, well, this guy says they're good. I've seen other people, and I got to find out for myself. This is a really good price. Okay, you might hate them. You can probably sell them, recoup them, re-gift them. If you really, really hate them, you won't have even used them much. It would be a great gift for somebody, and you look really impressive, and you saved 53%. But pliers wrenches are one of those tools, particularly in the larger sizes. I'm not sure a 7-inch is like the sweet spot, but I digress. 10-inch and above. You might have great sockets. You might be German tools. You might be Japanese. You might be freaking straight on Snap-on. Whatever you are, it could be Icon. There is going to come a point in time where you're doing something and you're not going to have a socket that big. All right. For me, it was the gantry crane. I was able to just go up there, and where I typically would have been screwed and had to use like a pipe wrench coupled with a crescent wrench, I was then able to use 2 pliers wrenches. A beautiful symphony of success, as I was able to grab whatever unknown metric size and tighten something down so I didn't have an I-beam fall and crack my skull. Great times, right? This is literally a better buy than Knipex right now. It's not egregiously more than you would spend for the Icon equivalent. And again, you may hate the mechanism, you may love it, you might love it way more than your Knipex push button. If you've been on the fence, if you wanted to try it, this is the time to go. So, up next, this is probably the best deal. Now, it's also probably a deal that you may not need the most, but one thing you can say about this channel, you can never have too many screwdrivers, especially beaters, and they're even better if there's something you want to try, haven't experienced, or simply can get for a great buy. 61% off. That is insane. $21 is going to get you a 5-piece set of striking cap Felo drivers, complete with a hex bolster, with their famed ergonix handle. If you've never held a Felo driver, this is sort of what they're known for. This is what people like. The black and the yellow they associate with Felo. Wood handle, yeah, they're great, but this is kind of the complete other end of the spectrum. This isn't Granddad's tools. This is the modern stuff. It's soft, it's squishy, it's comfortable. It's got a nice contour, ergonomics to it. And for $21.99 with 5 drivers, you're basically paying $4 and change, right? Like $4.20 a driver. That's a total win. Maybe $4.40 a driver. $4.40 if we go to 22. Sweet, we're going that route. But again, you've seen me bring these in. When I hold the driver up to the camera with the backside where they would typically have, tip identification, it kind of looks like a bumblebee. So there's also that perk. If you're from Iowa, if you like Pittsburgh Steelers, if you like the Penguins, if you're college, if you're just a huge fan of black and yellow, it's also a win. But the main thing, that is a fantastic price. B, if you haven't experienced Felo drivers, this is a great way to do it. And again, if you hate the drivers and you just want to throw them, relegate them to your work truck, you don't care if you lose them in the field, you hope you do, you got a great deal. By the time you pull into Home Depot or Lowe's, go try to get something at the self-checkout line, you've probably spent more time and gas than you can have that sent to your door. So again, killer deal right there. This next one, I'm kind of wondering if it's going to sell out. We didn't again get to cover Dark Gray Friday number 2, but the first thing, if I remember correctly, that sold out on that, there was like a Knipex 3-piece EDC set. I can't quite remember exactly what it was. I think side cutters, probably pliers, wrench, and probably cobras in small sizes, maybe 5 inchers. It's just kind of the NWS equivalent there. So if you missed out on that, if you're like, oh yeah, EDC is my jam, that's what I want to do, or hey, that would look great in my pocket, or man, that'd be really handy, there's this one area I can't get to, that's $20, I'll take it, give me a flyer. I've never tried NWS pliers like that. Let's see what it's about. Killer deal right there. Again, I have not small sizes like that, larger ones. The push button, very similar, of course, to Knipex. However, it doesn't have near as many positions. While that's super cool with Knipex, it can also be cumbersome. You have fewer options here, but you might also wind up where you need to be before you do with, double the available slots, right? So this is Dark Gray Friday 3 NWS EDC. Again, a lot of you have probably never used NWS pliers of that variety. And again, I know you might be sad it doesn't have the Sci-Fi 3K grip, but look at the price. It's a great gateway to try it out. Coming up, this is probably, in my opinion, the best deal. But like I said, if you're a veteran viewer of this channel, especially if you're a veteran viewer of this channel, you possibly could have these. Maybe not. It was a relatively new edition. But the main thing, it's just a killer price. This right here, I was very disappointed in Dark Gray Friday 2 because the Hazet 916 HPS, people always come to me and they say, I want to try the 916 HP, but it's too expensive. There have been so many good deals, whether that's through the Hazet Worldwide, whether it's Tool of the Day, a seasonal, where the 916 was a stupid good price. The HPS is the same thing, but with the quick release. It was on for a great buy. I hope some of you that always say, I want to try Hazet, but it's too expensive, got that thing. The gateway drug for me to all of the future Hazet purchases was basically the 916 HP. There was no quick release at the time. That is and was and still is my favorite half-inch drive ratchet. I absolutely love it. They break in really, really well. Finish out, color scheme, ergonomics of the handle, that may, vary person to person. I love it personally. And again, I can tell you that I don't make jack if you go buy that stuff. Okay, so it is what it is there. But this pliers wrench, it's mainly if you love the pliers wrench from Knipex. You're like, man, Knipex is expensive. I'm waiting for a deal. Maybe you want this as a backer set, right? Do with it what you will, but those are some really sweet deals there. Again, this was awesome. If you're watching this and you were one of the 9-ish or so people that pulled this in today, feel free to brag in the comments, but most importantly, please do come back this time next week when you've gotten your shipment and tell everyone how you like that vise. I will tell you if you're thinking like, oh man, that's going to be heavy to ship. This is a smaller one. You can see 120. It's fixed jaw, and I want to say, because I did check, the shipping weight is like just shy of 20 pounds. So not terrible. Hopefully UPS, FedEx, Post Office doesn't screw it up, toss it around, but we shall see. Logistics of shipping a vise, something you don't think of until you have to think of it. But right here as well, if you've used the holding function sockets from Wera, tell people what you think, maybe how it compares to Koken. Similarly, did you know, and be honest, did you know Wera has holding function sockets? All right. If you've watched Rags to Riches, which again, apparently, that video is doing well. I don't ever understand this stuff, right? These videos do way better than cool tool hauls with, tons of neat things no one else brings in. Like I said, I just have 14 years of experience of not knowing what to do here. So, it's one of those deals. I feel like that is legitimately under the radar. The holding function on the hex bits, I think people are kind of aware of that. In their sockets, I don't know that people are privy to the fact that Wera has that. There's a couple of things like that from Wera that, as popular as they are, people just don't seem to know. But if you want to discuss what you think the best deals are, what you brought in, what you hope to bring in, again, these deals are only good while these are in stock, and I say that with no pressure because, again, the links will be there, but I don't make a dime off of it. So we're going to close this. We now have our Knipex page here that we need to get rid of. This is something I want to highlight for you. New arrival, see that there? This is the 811R3. Some of you are like, wait, that looks just like the 810. Did they change the color of that? I kind of think they did. I do believe mine is black because I think mine is an 810. This is just like the Gador. If you can pick your color, pick your price, whatever you want to do. It's got the silent gear stuff, which of course comes from Roll Gear. I was trying to figure out what they had done. I was like, what have they updated? I think that's the exact same handle. Is it just the part number? And then when the images were loaded, I realized they've switched this over to kind of like a rapid adapter style. And what I mean by that is you don't have to pull the collar back to put the bit in. That's what that little inset arrow is right there. So these are not on sale or anything. But maybe if you were interested in these and you loved that feature from your little small Hazet handles, you might want to be aware these are there. Pay attention. 811R-3, and you'll have a dash for the dash 3. You're going to have metric hex, slotted Phillips, posi, and a few torques. Right here, when we jump to the R4, you're not going to have your posi bits, but you get more torques. So personally, for what I would do more often, I would probably opt for the R4. If posi is important to you, go that route. If you really want all these bits, but you want the posi too, buy this and buy some standalone posi drive bits. So, coming up next, I just want to tell you, you can see right here, 10 plus in stock. If you haven't bought this, you're getting close to Black Friday. You're getting close to Christmas time. Or whether you realize it or not, it's like 80 degrees here. Record highs the last couple of days. It's been fantastic, aside from being stuck in work and then driving home in the dark abyss of the night. But we've covered this. I just want you to know it's here. It is available. You can get it for retail. Could you hold out and see the price drop? Yes, maybe. You could also hold out and miss out and then have to chase it down and possibly pay more than retail. So there's lots of reviews on these out now. I don't want to spend more time on it, but I just want you to know and remind you it's here, it's available. Similar note, same thing here with Felo. You are able to get this advent calendar. It is technically 2024. Felo wisely doesn't put the dates on it, and this was not released in North America until this year. So if you're like, hey, I kind of think I'll do this, well, hey, go to town. We covered it in Dark Gray Friday 1, 2. So there you go. This right here, I tell you what, I don't like to brag about myself, but one of the things I've gotten fairly good at is perusing the KC Tool website. And image coming soon doesn't help me out a lot. I'm sure I could probably track this down online if I wanted to. But when I saw this, it said German soccer themed packaging. I'll be honest, that's probably not something that's going to sell me, but I know there's collectors that probably watch the channel. I know there's some of you that are like, well, hey, that's right up my alley. Some of you may love soccer. I liked it as a little kid. And man, I really miss the orange wedges. Well, I don't know why that was a thing. Like, you never had that at baseball or basketball, but in soccer, it was like you had orange wedges. I don't know. Anyway, special edition packaging has German soccer-themed graphics. Be mindful, this might be coming. I would probably be more interested in soccer-themed handles. I would get those filthy, but just be aware. This is here. Again, you got Black Friday. You might need free freight. Maybe get the pliers wrench. You're like, man, I don't really want any of that other stuff. If you're a soccer fan, again, I don't know what this is. You can research it yourself. But be aware, this is here, and it might be cool, might be something you're interested in. Same thing right here. I don't know how limited this is. It's one of those things. I know a lot of people love the black handles. A lot of people love the holiday packs and everything. It's still here. It's a decent buy. The twin grips are phenomenal. Maybe you just hate red handles. This is a good ticket there. So this next one, again, not to brag, but I'm decent at perusing this website after all these years, right? This is a special edition bottle opener. Again, just like in the Wera video, which I was shocked. I thought people would eat that up. People haven't covered the black edition Wera, especially like on the Ratchet, the Zyklopf stuff, the spinner. Barely anyone watched that. If you missed it, again, I use timestamps. If you don't want to sit there, you can like cut to something. But I thought people would have loved seeing that thing in hand in person. What do I know? But with that special edition on Felo soccer drivers, special edition black on the Wera, I have no idea the quantity on that. I don't know the quantity on this thing. But I do know there are a crud ton of you that are big time in bottle openers. This one looks really cool. Again, that's actually a legit Stahlwille deal. They had a contest where they sent out like updated stickers, and they've got like the little skull guy. It is what it is, but again, it's reasonably priced. It would make a great gift, stocking stuffer, a gift for yourself. Just know that this is slated to come in around Thanksgiving week. So if you're into that stuff, $12. That also, I tell you this all the time. Okay, if you came in here, let's say you're like, oh man, he talked me into this, $65, $22, $440 a driver. That's going to be $87. I'm so close to free freight. Boom, there you go, right? It's the little things sometimes. Always kind of check around, have some ideas of things you want or need that can get you the free freight. You'd pay more than 12 bucks for shipping that stuff to you, so why not get something cool, right? That's my logic. But speaking of stocking stuffers, we're going to come in here. I want 10% off, I sure do. And if you do, you can load up this page and then navigate towards the X, and you'll probably get a pop-up too. But this is, we kind of covered this last time. I think we hit on the pro picks. This is a update with stocking stuffers. Again, hopefully this loads. I'm not going to wait for the graphic. It'll never come. Go boxes, they're fantastic. I haven't showcased one on the channel in forever, but I use them all the time. I got one in my desk drawer at work. I have one in my little bag I run around when I do the fences. I've got one in a couple of cars. They're really good. They're steel cases. The ratchets are actually decent too for what they are. You got some linesman's pliers if you want to try those out. Again, people knock Wiha's pliers. I really like the grip. I can't explain why. It's like softer, like, you know, cushier, more cushiony when I squeeze down. I don't have any experience with their linesman's pliers, interestingly enough. However, this freak right here, at 25 bucks, that's actually a pretty sweet deal. I actually really like this. I don't do much with it that it's probably intended for, but it is fantastic for constant tension hose clamps. You may have a dedicated tool, you might have a better tool. This thing opens really, really wide. This little plastic piece, you kind of can't tell, but where I'm circling it with the pointing finger, you slide that back, it's a lock. That's all that does, is kind of keep it in place. You can shut your drawer on your toolbox. But when you open that up, it slides automatically. So when you go, like, you could be a radiator hose, and you will come in, and with that lock opened up, it's already bigger than the clamp. And so then you're just simply squeezing it. Now, sadly, you can't really lock down and maintain pressure. But again, just for getting something on and off, so you can pull the hose, do whatever you need to do. I actually really like them. In fact, they are in the Koken cart. They're in the orange US General Master Tech because I use them all the time. Especially good for big, you know, 2.5 inch, 2-inch hose clamps. So again, 25 bucks, not a terrible price. Kind of breezed over this one, just like a little 2-inch, I guess 50 millimeter bit set with a holder and some smaller bits. Same thing here, lesser priced. These for 19 bucks versus that, I'd tell you to get the funky weird ones that you're only going to get here. Like adding that mechanism for 5 bucks on pliers you may not like, or might find a special place of use for you. I would probably go that route over that. This right here, kind of an unsung hero. In fact, these pliers, you'll see me use them all the time in the Ram Revival and probably talk about how, man, these are great for hose clamps. Right here, this is really, really good. I made videos, and this goes way back now. But basically, you turn this little collet, and you can pull out this razor blade, right? If you peruse their website, I'm not going to do it here. I've showcased this stuff in the past. There used to be 4 to 6 styles of unique blades. Scraping, cutting, like angled hook, everything you can think of. You can also get like 10 packs of just this one. This is probably going to be your most used. It's traditional. Gaskets, window sticker, whatever. Pinstripes, stickers off a toolbox you scored on Marketplace or something. It's just a really good scraper. It's 15 bucks now. It used to be a little cheaper, but hey, it is what it is. If you're always like, man, these razor scrapers suck, or I just use a blade, I wish I had a holder, I'm going to cut myself someday, maybe give that a go for 15 bucks. Again, it used to come in like a nondescript white box with a little glass jar, maybe plastic jar, metal lid with the blades. Not sure if they've changed that, but a pretty cool little item. Conduit reamer here with the 6-in-1. Not a terrible price. The big selling point would just be if you want a conduit reamer, because truth be told, you can get these 6-in-1s thrown in free all the time if you buy from Wiha. You can also get them dirt cheap, and that is an American-made tool, if you did not know. Right here, stubby bit holder for 12 bucks. That's a win. Precision drivers, precision nut drivers. If you need them, you need them. If you're looking to upgrade, pretty solid pricing. Again, some of this stuff, like good precision drivers, aren't exactly cheap, so do with that what you will. Here you've got another Go box. This one is like Torx Bonanza. All kinds of Torx, security Torx. Kind of a neat concept, again, especially if it's something you have to deal with frequently or on certain machines or maintenance runs or something. Again, have fun with it. Pocket stars, some people love these. They're great for quick stuff. Obviously, they're good for carrying in your pocket. Interestingly enough, I have SAE and I don't have metric, so that's probably something I'm going to pick up because it's about half price right now. Right here, so Poland to Germany. So these are apparently still made in Germany. These are really, really good. I know some of you think like, oh, that looks a lot like Wera. It looks a lot like PB Swiss rainbow keys and stuff. Yeah, color-coded keys became a thing. It's handy. It's convenient. Wiha makes really good hex keys, in my opinion. Again, Wera kind of gets like all the glory, and rightfully so. Hex Plus is fantastic. But if you're looking on a budget, or if you're like, man, I just kind of want something different or a complementary set type of a thing, these are not bad. And this holder, while it's not the Ergo Star that automatically spans out for you, this one is just stupidly compact. Like, you can't tell from this picture, but if you had a regular hex key set, the holder would probably be 33-40% bigger. This is just really compact. The other thing, I know a lot of you have problems with Wera's sleeves getting in the way if you have to go down hole, and B, there's probably 4 of you through the years that are just adamant that those things fall apart and disintegrate and you hate them. That's when you'd want to go this route. So again, pretty solid price there. Not a huge discount, but decent. And again, it truly is a great stocking stuffer. To Wiha's credit, all this stuff would pretty much fit in a stocking. And kudos to making that happen. Now, right here, did we save the best for last? I'll let you be the judge. But this is a moment that I personally have pushed for quite some time. I've been very vocal in my videos about it. I'm very vocal when I order from Koken, when I order from DRPD. Like when websites have that customer suggestion box, I'm the guy that uses that. And I know of a couple companies that might actually read it, and Koken is one of them. Interestingly, several Japanese companies seem to respond to feedback. Do people know who I am? Do they care? I doubt it. There could be a million people asking for this. In terms of like tool videos, there's not many people that like live in the 60s and 70s like me that also do tool stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it's old timers. Maybe it's like aviation people. That's probably like the biggest market share, I would think, for something like this. But regardless, those of you that watch the channel, I've had several of you. I think Caleb even mentioned it in the Rags to Riches video with the hex bits I had to buy. He was like, hey man, just so you know, they've got this item. And I was like, yeah, I know. And I'm stoked about it. But I did check in with Koken. That's why I didn't have this video out Wednesday. Plus, it worked out well because Dark Gray Friday today, so I guess it's not terrible. These 3 items are not debuted at SEMA, but very, very fresh additions. You got quarter drive. I've got the universals. Those videos are now live, so I can talk about them. Mine are not nut grips. They are just standard affair universals. They're pretty good. Quarter drive, I went 6.38. I went 12 point. Hopefully that doesn't spoil anything. I think those videos are live. But if not, hey, kudos for watching this part of the video. But this is just cool stuff. Again, right now, this is not on sale. And what I mean by that is like it's not discounted any. So if you're like, oh, wow, I got to get those right there. That's going to be killer. Nut drive plus a universal. Think of Black Friday. Think of other Koken retailers that might have sales. If it's like something that's just going to like drive you nuts, go ahead and make it happen for yourself. But literally these 3 are new additions. You got quarter drive SAE, universal 12 points. Again, I would be all over a lot of this stuff, but you put universal plus nut grip in the same product and look what happens to your prices. Lots of sockets here. I mean, that kind of brings the price down per part, but that's a lot of cash. I'm not going to lie. And my issue with nut grip, as much as I love it, it's also prone to pulling off, which will become less of an issue with this. So you go back and you watch my videos on Koken's extensions, which primarily for me are wobble fix, which are fantastic. Huge fan of them. The knurling, the execution on the drive end, everything is great except when you're in wobble mode and the socket stays engaged on the fastener, which is way more likely to happen if you're using something from the nut grip line. Testament to how well the nut grip works, but extremely annoying. Okay. Koken, I don't know that many people made videos on their regular locking extensions. I have. I love them. They are fan-freaking-tastic. They're super slim and streamlined. You don't have like that huge knurled collar. It's like the one time I'll complain about knurling because they always, on locking extensions, do that, and it's down all the way by your socket where you actually need tight, compact clearance, and it's always in the way. The Kokens are very Silhouette, very streamlined like you'd expect from the Z series, and they work really well. That said, this is sort of the hybrid that I was like, yeah, I wonder if they could ever do this. Well, they've done it. This is a locking wobble fix. In fact, let's just fire this sucker open if the internet cooperates. It'll probably be pixelated a while. So as you can see, these are restock soon, pre-order now. These literally just debuted at SEMA. Oh, internet, you let me down so many times. But what we've got is basically just a beautiful little setup. It's the same collar right there that your standard locking ones have, but this lets you do two things. It lets you keep the wobble, but it won't then go in to standard mode. It'll keep it locked into wobble. I don't think it's going to lock it and prevent it from coming off. I could be wrong, but it is going to keep you from having the other annoying thing happen, which is when you're in wobble and you inadvertently bump into something and the socket goes and locks itself straight and then you lose access to the fastener. If you know, you know. All right. But it will also give you just the straight benefit of Koken's locking. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1 again, with the added benefit of if you're wobbling, you ain't going to go get on straight, on the wobble fix extensions. That said, this is going to have 75, 125, 250. This is something, I feel like the 10 would be really handy, but I kind of feel like the 5-inch would be a good place to start, maybe, unless you have like a specific application. But, again, the only downside, they're kind of spendy. Not terrible, but, kind of bad. Again, maybe Black Friday, maybe some upcoming sales will take place, maybe as they come in or something. So do know that Koken has done this. It should be I don't have any experience firsthand with this particular product. I just speak from experience with the wobble fix and their locking extensions, which again, they do have dedicated lockers. It was relatively recent addition, maybe a year and a half, 2, I don't know, time flies. But I don't feel like a lot of people bought those or showcased them. I did. If you're curious about it, you can go check them out. But these could make a lot of people happy. So I'm looking forward to trying them out. And again, maybe we can try them out with a sale here at Koken or DRPD. Did I save anything? You freaking bet I did. Okay, we're just going to come in right here. Hopefully you don't read too much. I think a lot of people are, as you can see, Koken did this. I was told they kind of had some of these, but they didn't want to say they had them because they're basically super stupidly low stock and they don't want people to be disappointed. So if you see this and this is still available, you can go be the guy that buys this. I think people are going to really like these, particularly quarter. I'm a big T-handle guy. This is kind of an interesting take. This is what they call multifunction, and the reason your short handle, if you will, is going to have a standard ball retention mechanism on it, right? That's going to be a socket, no wobble. You can get a lot of torque generated by putting your hand on the wobble side of it and just going to town, right? This side down here is your wobble fix. So you can have it fixed if you're just thinking, man, I don't know that I need the wobble on that, but that'd be stupid handy. It's the 2-in-1, but again, you run the risk of it going straight when you don't want it to. You run the risk of it coming off when you don't want it to. But they're priced reasonably well. I'm not sure I'm Wouldn't have done it maybe a little differently. I think a spin sleeve on this would have been killer. I'm not sure on the overall length. That might not be something they're capable of. It also would have probably driven the price up significantly. But if I could get something like this with the knurled spin collar, I'd be really, really interested. Again, they have it in 3/8, they have it in quarter. Just to do it, let's see if the quarter is available. No, it is not. I know it used to be, so somebody's come on here and bought some stuff. So again, do with that what you will. However, there is one item left that is just killer, and we're just gonna go full screen now with it. It is the Koken 3/8 drive Z series. Hurry, only 160 left. SAE. SAE Z series. This is the day I've dreamed of. It's what I've waited for. It's so bad people, like I said, kind of Caleb as well, even notice like, oh hey, I gotta tell this guy that he's gonna be excited. I didn't really know that this would ever happen. It's like, well, maybe if I like constantly talk about it. It's a very logical thing to do when you're a socket company, right? You make something killer and metric, and understandably you focus on that. You release it in all the drive sizes, your shallows, your semi-deeps, your deeps, everything, 3/8, quarter, half inch, maybe even 3/4, before you come around over here. But they did it. They actually have come to SAE again. The biggest market share, I think, for this would be aviation. I don't know obviously this would be great in an automotive setting as well. But again, it's SAE, right? So yes, I will go use it under the hood of a 70s era Mopar. But how many people are going to do that? And it's not necessary, right? I got by with standard shallow sockets my entire life. I would be very curious. Again, it's super logical, because it's like, well, what can we do that's new and different and, we might sell. There's really not a great offering. I have Proto Super Shallows. A lot of people don't even know those exist. The fitment on those is pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. Like, just everything doesn't line up well. Great sockets overall. They did a great job of making them compact. The fit and finish, in terms of like fasteners is great. It's just the drive-in attachment on those leaves a bit to be desired. That is not the case with the Z series. The Z series is an insane, precise fit. Sometimes you might not like it if you're not, Koken, swimming in Koken, certain ratchets it doesn't really, like very well. Sometimes it goes on, but it's a chore to get it on. It's difficult to get it off. Pairs very, very well with Koken, particularly their Z series. I was actually out in the shop, Wednesday night playing around with the Z series stuff, and I was test fitting it on lots of ratchets, and I got Icon G2 checked out. My KTC Rotos checked out, everything in that box. I didn't really have issues. I was able to put it on the Max 90s. But again, some ratchets, it's going to fit a little bit better than others. Quick release does help when you pair it with like a Nipros or something. But I'm still kind of stunned that they actually did this. This is something you hear me all the time. I'm like, man, I would really like Stahlwille Series 14 wrenches in SAE. That hasn't happened. You hear me, man, these 600 LGs from Hazet are killer. I wish they made them in SAE sizes. That hasn't happened. It's like, man, these Koken Z series would be really cool in SAE. Well, every once in a while, Wayne Gretzky, right? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So when you have companies with those customer feedback slots, tell them. If you're like, man, I really need like a, double deep, half-inch drive 10 mils. Just however ridiculous it might be, just tell people. You never know what might happen, right? So they might get a laugh out of it. They might forward it to engineering, and they're like, what is this idiot going to do with that? They might forward it, and that's actually a good idea. And they might actually make it. So again, I absolutely cannot take credit for this coming to fruition, but I will absolutely take credit for hoping that it did. and actually, like expressing a sincere and genuine interest in seeing it come to marketplace. So yes, kudos to Koken. My follow-up email to Koken, which I haven't heard back yet. When will we see quarter and half inch? Typically, the way Koken does things, 3/8 is their gateway, which I love. That's how I operate. They follow that up with quarter drive, and then half inch kind of comes around at some point later in the distant future. If you're thinking, oh man, these would be awesome. I don't really do a lot of SAE, but every once in a while I do. I wish they were semi-deep. I am the same way. I typically go semi-deep. Just if it's some specialty, unique, one-off type of a socket, I am a semi-deep person. That's where I like to go. It's kind of the best of both worlds. Instead of me buying shallow and deep, I can just kind of half-ass it in the happy medium land with semi-deep, right? It's thrifty, it makes sense. It's also cool. With Koken, when you go semi-deep, you get an X in the part number, which is kind of nice. In terms of the Z series, I would actually start with the shallow. You're thinking like, what idiot? That makes no sense. Think about it. The big selling point on these is simply how compact they are. These are tiny, tiny little sockets. So when you have those freak clearance issues where maybe you're having run like an Astro Nano, or you've like rigged up like, a box end wrench with a socket adapter, like from Gador or something, this is a legit pair it to your standard traditional ratchet and have extremely compact, tight tolerance and clearance. Again, especially with Koken Z series or other slim head ratchets, they're phenomenal. Having the shallow is, in my opinion, the place to start. Whatever you want to do, if you've never used these series, you don't have to buy SAE. I get it. You probably do metric way more, 95+% of the time. If that's you, you can pick quarter, 3/8, half. You can get your shallow, semi-deep, deep, whatever. But I genuinely would recommend that you start your Z series excursion in terms of sockets in shallow, because it is going to be the most unique addition to your toolbox simply due to the form factor of the sockets. In this particular instance, I want to say it is quarter to 7/8. I love the design execution on these. I love the stamping on these. It looks like they've stayed true to what you see with the metrics, which again, I was messing around with these a couple nights ago. Do I wish there was a 15/16 on this last lonely peg? You bet I do. Granted, like that would be more of like a work thing because I use 5/8 all the time. I can't think of a lot of situations. There's a couple where I really do need something compact for 5/8. It's just access from above type of a thing is interfered with, so I can't just jump in with an impact. You basically have to run a wobble or like a box end offset wrench type of a thing. So there is an application, but like for the broader scope, I think aviation, auto, or just super cool people like me that live in this modern world but like cars from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and don't really have to have these, but they could come in handy and give you extra clearance, so maybe you don't bust your knuckle. It could be as simple as that, right? I'm not dragging my knuckle, or I'm not sliding my glove across a grease-covered valve cover. These are cool. It's awesome. So cool to see Koken actually bring these to market. And I do hope the response is good. I hope a lot of people jump out and pick these up. Not necessarily full price right now when you got like Black Friday in 2 weeks, but hopefully like they get the message that, hey, there's actually are people that still buy that archaic junk over there in America. And I will be one of them, and I am thrilled. I cannot wait to see semi-deeps. I can't wait to see quarter. I would love to see half-inch Z series again in metric, quarter, 3/8, half, shallow. That's what I've got now. I'd love to expand it, but again, money doesn't grow on trees, and I am a YouTube channel with no affiliate, no money pouring in, no brand deals, so kind of more of a real world deal. I just look for deals and try to cash in when I see them. And speaking of that, it is late. I need to get this thing rendered out so I can start uploading it, and maybe if the internet cooperates, you'll get to see it at 9 a.m. this morning. But again, quarter to 7/8, no skips, bread and butter right there, 7/16, half, 9/16. You'll love to see it. Oh, it's so good. If you haven't seen the Z series stuff, I've got videos on it. And again, you see Z series, you're going to associate it with the Zeal ratchets, everything. These sockets are not your standard Koken sockets, which I've featured tons and tons of times and bought crud tons of them, and they're stupidly good and inexpensive, kind of right there with Proto, as I always tell you. Price, bang for the buck, quality. The Z series truly is kind of, think of like KTC Nipros. This is like Koken's Nipros, right, division. The Z series, these are really, really nice sockets. Again, downside to them is the tighter tolerances, right? I can come in and throw my Proto down over, the greased up bolt. Just maybe I have to just like force it a little bit. Stuff like this, some of the German sockets that have tight tolerances, like you can't do that. You might have to wire wheel your fastener a little bit or kind of hammer the socket on. So be aware of that. But for clean stuff, for tight confines, these are killer. I'm so happy that these exist in the real world. I was kind of shocked. And I'm so happy though, and I hope you are too. Maybe it's not me, maybe you got a buddy that like lives in the past or works on old cars or something. If they don't know about these, tell them, especially if they're into like the hand tool. This probably goes relatively under the radar outside of like freak anomalies like myself. They're like, whoa, this is great. I would probably be the minority there, but again, the more people that know about this, that know about these sockets, what they are, what makes them unique, and that they exist, the better chance we have of Koken being like, hey, those actually did pretty well. Let's get them the semi-deeps, and let's get the deep 3/8. Let's complete 3/8. Let's then get quarter, run through that, get them half-inch. Just please help make this crazy dream continue, because this was something I didn't ever really think it would happen, but here we are, and man, it is super, super exciting. So with that said, I gotta go. It's one. This is way longer than I wanted it to be, but hey, I get excited. I try to share good deals with you. So hopefully you enjoyed. Hope you'll see some stuff you're interested in. You can cash in on some deals, maybe get some gifts for people. Again, do with it what you will. Everything that I will have linked here, I literally do not see a dime. You could go clean. You could buy all 160 of these. And maybe Koken's like, what the heck? How did this happen? And maybe they find me, but there's no kickback. There's nothing. Literally, I'm a guy at midnight making a video to tell you about great deals. So, and if we had more time, I'd go to that X tab over there where we have Dirk Nowitzki talking about the Nico Harrison firing, but we don't, so I won't. And between Koken's new SEMA launches, again, get ready for Black Friday deals across the board. The stocking stuffers, kind of cool, very reasonably priced as well. New stuff at KC Tool, and of course the Dark Gray Friday. Lots on the horizon coming as well. Be diligent, know about the deals. You don't have to buy them. You don't have to, cash in on them if money's tight or if you don't need them. But if you're looking to add things at a great price, which is what I've done over all these years, I don't come in and brag about paying full retail or, only 20K above stick. No. Like, I'm cheap. Thrifty is the word I prefer. But just slowly over time, I've been able to do some pretty cool stuff and save along the way. And I try to pass that along to the viewers. So let me know what you got. Dark Gray Friday 2, since we didn't get to cover it. What you think of Dark Gray Friday 3. If you're interested in any of the other stuff, stocking stuffers. And of course, please tell Koken thank you for making the SAE Z Series dream a reality. I'm sure that I don't know, what convincing had to go on, or who like pitched that and was able to do it successfully, or it was just like a gag. I don't know, but I am genuinely happy. And with that said, I'm losing my voice. I'm gonna work out. Yes, I do that late too. Shower, get this thing going up on the internet machine, and let me know. Like, I typically like to do stuff like this on Wednesdays. If you just don't care, you're like, man, I'd rather have, the cool tool stuff in the middle of the week. Tell me, because again, I'm sitting over here. We can't even get to 10K to release the Snap-on videos, and I've been doing this since 2011. So, like I said, I'm a master in the field. Clearly, right? But anyway, hope everyone is doing well. Again, 80-degree weekend here. Maybe I'll get out in some sun tomorrow, but I'll be at work in a few hours. So live it up for me. Hope you enjoy the weekend. Hope you can cash in on these deals. And again, If any of you got that Vise, you by gosh better come back and tell everyone how cool it is. Or if you hate it, I mean, it could be the case too. But even if you hate it, you got to admit it looks so cool. But with that said, I'll quit rambling. Thanks for watching. LoneStarMopars.com is the website. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all three at Lone Star Mopars. Do hope you enjoyed. Hope you're having a good weekend. And most importantly, I hope I catch you back here for more from the shop.